Welcome to Friday Morning Coffee. I brought a not very, a large coffee mug with me. Nothing like a little chock full of nuts. Chock full of nuts. Tasty, tasty, tasty. How's everybody doing out there this morning? Me? I'm doing good, except for the fact that I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. And I've been up ever since. But I used my time wisely. I wrote a script for a video that I'm probably going to film today. And then I did some research for that same thing. And I've been doing stuff. Figured I might as well just come in here and hang with you folks. So I hope everyone's doing well. It's only 8:12 in the morning where I am, and it feels like lunchtime. So, Trevor, Draftsman, Andres, lots of good folks in here. Jonathan, Ethnic, Matt McCourt, Grizzly Tech Kicks. Need a red version of the PS5. That would be cool. We got Drew in here. Yeah, the PS5 is on its way. Johnny, good morning to you. So I have to admit that yesterday I wanted to watch the PS5 unveiling. I had planned to. However, my sleeping schedule is entirely just completely messed up. So I was asleep. I was asleep from like 2:30 until 6 o'clock, I think. And then you wonder why I can't sleep. I think the PS price wise, I'm going to guess that the PS5 is going to be $500 for the one with the disc drive, and the one without the disc drive will be like either $400 or $450. That's my guess. And eventually the prices will come down by $100 for both. That's my guess. So where's John Prosser been lately? I guess he just, sometimes he makes a bunch of videos, sometimes he doesn't. And I know that Front Page Tech has been making videos more by appointment, kind of like when they have exclusive news, they've been making their episodes, but they'll be back soon. They take little breaks all the time. He's on the lam. Yeah, maybe he is. He's out there. He's gone into a witness protection program. Tim Cook was getting too close. Yeah, the Horizon Zero Dawn game, that's a game that I have wanted to play since it came out, and I just haven't played it. So maybe now this is my excuse to play it in the come up to the new game. However, I got to say, beyond PlayStation 5 and the excitement of PlayStation 5, I got to say that I'm still excited for the release of The Last of Us, which is next week, I believe. Next week, Last of Us 2 comes out, and I am super excited about that. Super excited about that because The Last of Us 2 is probably not, it's my favorite narrative game, period. It might be one of my favorite narratives, period. They did such a fantastic job with that first game. And so I've been trying to ignore all of the stuff, all the drama, all the other stuff about, leaks and this and that and the other thing. I've been trying to ignore it. I haven't been 100% successful. I don't want my experience with the game to be ruined. So I'm just like trying to stay away from all of it. So John Prosser just published a tweet stating that Apple is dropping the BOE displays for the iPhone 12 devices and have failed quality tests. Okay. So LG, Samsung OLED panels for the iPhone 12 series. Interesting. Very interesting. I know that they were using that company because there's just not enough companies making OLED displays. So yeah, that's good for Samsung. Uh, Ethnic, I played the I've played a little bit of Uncharted 4, and I've played a little bit of a couple of the other games, but I never played all the all the all of them all the way through. I should, I want to, but over the past several years, I've been playing more and more just like online like shooter games, which it's easier just to sit down and kind of hang out and play a few rounds of, you know, Battlefield or Call of Duty or whatever it is that you're playing at the time, and then, you know, get up. I try not to spend hours and hours and hours sitting in front of the TV, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Um, I do have the Spider-Man game, the original, like the newer Spider-Man game, and I played through probably like, you know, a quarter of it. And again, it's one of those things where like I didn't invest the hours and hours and hours, but maybe I should, because what I played was great and everybody else was very excited about it. I was never a big Tomb Raider fan. My daughter played the new Tomb Raiders. She really enjoyed them. She played, I think she was like, I don't know how, she was very young when the first new Tomb Raider game came out, and she's played through all of those, and she's done multiplayer on those. And yeah, so she's really enjoyed those. I haven't tried Valorant. Uh, although I also haven't paid much attention to it. I'm looking at this. Okay, let me do this. So here's a little ad for Valorant. It looks a lot like Overwatch to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm just more into the more realistic uh the more realistic shooter games. I didn't play Apex for the same reason, although I had a lot of friends who were playing Apex that really liked Apex. I just didn't get into it. So right now, Call of Duty Warzone is taking up all the time that I have for gaming and more. I stream on Amazon and elsewhere to to tell myself that it's actually me doing work, and it is, I guess, to a certain extent. But Warzone has got my attention right now. It's definitely, I like the challenge. So the challenge is what I'm all about. Let me see. I haven't played the latest God of War, Ethnic, and I need to. I really do. I have a feeling that once the PS5 comes out, I'll be spending a lot more time on the PlayStation. But recently, because I've been playing Warzone, because I can play on my PC with my buddies who play on PS4 and Xbox, I've just been playing on PC. And so I don't know. It's the first time I've really put my PC through through any kind of real stress tests by playing that game and streaming at the same time. I was never a Call of Duty fan. I played through the campaigns of a couple of different Call of Duty games, like on PlayStation 3. But I was never a big Call of Duty fan. However, Battlefield 5, which was still a good game, it just died. They dropped the ball on an update. They changed some stuff. They went back. It just died. And that's where I would spend the time that I had to play games. I would jump on 3 or 4 times a week, and I'd play a couple hours of Battlefield and talk with my buddies and stuff like that. And then Warzone came out, and it just was better than Battlefield. So we're back to. I never thought I would play a Call of Duty game because I was a pretty staunch Battlefield supporter. Now I gotta make an admission. about my PC gaming. I'm playing with a controller. Not because I can't play with a keyboard and mouse, but just, I don't know, the controller is more casual, and so I just like to play with the controller more. So, but am I dominating the console users? No, it's kind of, well, no, I mean, I'm not that good for the first thing, but it's also like they I don't know. You get aim assist even on PC with a controller. So some people think that controller on PC has an advantage. I'm not sure about it. Simply Beth in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. So the PS5, yeah, I didn't really get into playing first person shooters until the PlayStation 4 came out, and I started playing Battlefield 4 with a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine since like 1989. We met the first day of college. And he was playing Battlefield. So he was like, "Oh, you should get Battlefield." So I started playing Battlefield 4, and that's actually what kind of got this channel, this whole Painfully Honest Tech channel started, because I was using gaming headsets for the first time, and I never really understood how terrible they were. So I just went through a bunch of different gaming headsets and did a bunch of different reviews, and yeah, that's how this whole thing started. So, you know, I think I'm gonna get the disc drive, if for no other reason than I have lots of Blu-rays and HD Blu-rays and that kind of stuff, and I still like the experience of putting a disc in there. You still get, I think, the best experience from doing that. So I'll probably get the disc one, although I don't know. I do have an Xbox One X, and that has a disc drive, so I don't know. But then again, well, I don't need a disc drive in both of them. I'll definitely get the PS5 and the new Xbox Series X. Even though I rarely play games on Xbox. Yes, please smash the like button. That would be nice. Smash the like button. Tell all your friends. But yeah, I mean, the PS, I've been a PlayStation player more than an Xbox player for a long time. I got an Xbox 360, but I never really played that many games. Alex, thank you so much for the contribution toward the PS5, the $6.99 Canadian dollars. Really appreciate it. I've been a PlayStation guy, so I'm excited about this PlayStation. And I'll tell you why I'm excited about this PlayStation. We'll talk about how it looks later. However, 65 watching, only 24 thumbs up. You know, maybe 40 of them don't have thumbs. So it's going to have HD, like the camera, the DualSense, the charging state. So all this different media remote stuff. But the innards of the thing are going to be really intense. I'm very impressed with, basically the PlayStation 5 is a computer. It's a desktop computer that you plug into your TV. Now, I do hope that they do better with the user experience. They do better with the UI than they have. I don't like the UI of, well, I don't think I've liked the UI of any PlayStation ever. But the PlayStation 4 UI has always been pretty terrible, and I still don't really like it. Xbox was not great when it first came out, the Xbox One, but has gotten better over time, and I can navigate that a little bit better, or at least it's more enjoyable to navigate. But I woke up this morning, and because I didn't pay any attention last night when this thing was announced, I just went to Twitter. I woke up this morning, which was 2:30 in the morning. Everybody on Twitter Everybody on Twitter, it seemed, was just like, "Oh my god, this thing looks terrible. What is this thing? Oh, it's ugly." But I don't. What? I don't get it. Why? Because it's white. The Xbox One was white. It doesn't look ugly. It could look like this thing. Oh, I don't have it up. The thing that like it could look like the little child potty that the thing the renders looked like. Those things were terrible. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Play PS5. Yeah, we'll go to images. Look at this thing. It looks like a potty. I would never like. I wouldn't want this on my entertainment console. This thing is ugly. This thing is ugly. So, and yeah, I saw a lot of people. A lot of people were doing that whole putting two pieces of paper on their wireless router and making it look like the PlayStation 5. I get it. But the thing is, like, just from an industrial design standpoint, it's pretty darn sexy. I think. I mean, am I going to enjoy having it in my entertainment center? Maybe not, because everything in my entertainment center is black, and black is like my favorite color. So it's going to mess with the color coordination of my entertainment center. But you know, so somebody mentioned up early on in the chat that they wanted to have a red one. Red one would be cool. Black on white would be cool. I agree. But you know, as Milan says here, nothing beats the PC master race. You know, I understand all the benefits of being a part of the PC master race. I understand all of that. However, being a console player for literally my entire life, since the Atari 2600, there are things about being a console player that you don't get from playing on PC. Being a console player is more casual, and yep, that's the truth. Viper, I sent you a link if you want to come in and talk, because you know I'm just talking by myself. Console playing is more casual for sure. That doesn't mean it's not good. Just the idea of being able to sit in your living room and sit on the couch and play through a game, especially like narrative games like what we were talking about before. It's a different kind of thing than PC. PC is more intense, and I'm gonna I give it that for sure. However, there is a lot to be said for playing console as well. So I kind of float on the edge of both. Now, if crossplay like what they have in Warzone becomes more of a thing, then I'll probably stay more on the PC side than on the console side, only because since I got the PS4, I've been playing on a monitor on it, like sitting at a desk. So I don't like to play first person shooters on the couch. I find it's easier to, if the monitor is closer to my face. So if crossplay becomes a bigger thing on multiplayer games and there are more options for that, then I definitely will play PC more than I have. But most of the people that I know, most of the people that I'm friends with who play are on PS4. So, you know, I guess I could make friends on the PC. People like me, right? But like I said, my friend Curtis and I have been playing together since PS4 came out, and God, we've known each other for 30 years now. That's crazy. I can't. I just figured out the other day that I've been a performing musician for 40 years. That's crazy. I don't even want to. I don't even want to think about it. Viper can't come in. He hasn't done his hair yet today. Arrested for rioting in the Google Pixel store. He was upset. Well, I don't know. Viper's pretty chill until he gets some of those frappuccinos or whatever they are into him, and then he's all over the place. Hashtag Wizard Squad. That's right. We've got memberships. We've got merchandise. We've got all kinds of wonderful things. If you want to do if you want to be a part of the Wizard, everybody's a part of the Wizard Squad. But you know what I'm saying. Membership is a privilege for me, because it really does mean a lot to me. Speaking of meaning a lot, the video that I'm going to make today is going to be about the Magic Keyboard, Viper. Maybe this will change your mind, unless you're in like your morning meeting, something or other. Magic Keyboard. I wrote the script. I'm ready to go. I have a lot of things to say about it. I'm not going to give up anything more than that. Can't play FPS on console, which is a shame because I've got a full home theater set up. Yeah. I think if I didn't play in front of a monitor and sitting at a desk, then playing first-person shooters would be really hard for me. But since I do that, it's not that bad. And I find that it's a decent experience. Although I have noticed of course the graphics are better. I mean, my PC costs multiple times what the PS4 cost, and then I've got a G-Sync 1440p monitor here, so yes, it looks better. But yeah, it's also just kind of, I don't know. I used to play more games on console sitting around in the living room when my kids were younger. Like I played through the first Last of Us while my kids watched. It was like our Sunday night TV for as long as it took to get through. And that was really great. But my daughter plays more console than I do at this point. Thank you for the red glasses, love. I got them a few months ago now, but mostly because my dog, he was a puppy at the time. He's probably still a puppy, I guess, but he weighs like 80 pounds. Chewed up 2 pairs of glasses, not one, but 2 pairs of my glasses. So the new glasses that I had gotten when I get a new pair of glasses every year, and then my old pair that I just decided to wear after he chewed up the first pair. So Nick has the Folio keyboard, and yeah, I can imagine. I wasn't a big fan of the Apple Folio, like Smart Folio keyboards. I didn't like the typing experience, and I'm kind of a typing experience snob, because I type a lot. I write, so I'm always typing. So the Magic Key, or not the Magic Keyboard, but the Smart Folio just didn't get me excited. And so I've been using the Logitech Slim Folio because Logitech sent it to me not long after I got the iPad, and it's big and bulky, which is ironic because it's called the Slim Folio, but it really the typing experience is really good. It's not perfect in any way, shape, or form, but the typing experience is really good. And I find that it's almost as good as like a MacBook type experience. So the Magic Keyboard is very nice in terms of typing. Those keys are really nice, but I'm finding that it's a little more narrow than the Logitech case that I had. And so I never learned to type correctly. I just taught myself to type. And so I'm working my way into being able to actually type. Yeah, Beth constantly have a dining room chair in the middle of the living room because family wants to be directly in front of the TV when they game. Yeah, exactly. I go one step further, and I take my like lazy boy recliner and I pull it over in front of the couch so that I'm just like right on front of the TV. So I can get that best experience. Yeah, it's a sad thing. Good morning, Mario. How you doing? Yeah, Matt, I've been using the Logitech Craft keyboard for a couple of years now, at least, and I keep wanting. It's bigger than what I want for the desk that I have right now, and I keep wanting to go to a smaller keyboard, but I can't bring myself to go to a smaller keyboard when the Logitech is as nice as it is. It's just really, really. It's a great typing experience, and I finally started to use the wheel. I never used the wheel, but in Final Cut, I went from mouse to trackball, and I used the wheel to scroll the timeline in Final Cut. So finally used that wheel for something. Justin Nugget says, I don't care what the PS5 looks like, but the games they showed weren't appealing to me, so that was disappointing. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same as, if I recall correctly, when the PS4 came out, there were going to be some exclusives, but none of them were close. Like they were a little bit further away. Battlefield 4 had just come out, and yes, it was ported over to the PS4, but it wasn't like a, and then Last of Us, which was a PlayStation exclusive, was originally put out on the PS3. So I'm not super impressed with the lineup of exclusives right now either. However, at the end of the day, the reason I own a PlayStation is because I know over the lifespan of a PlayStation, there will be, a dozen or so games that I can only play on the PlayStation. So, Matt McCord, new member. Oh, we get some applause and a quack. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, if anybody's interested in the membership stuff, down below the video window, there's a little button. And like I said, during the podcast the other day, I'm doing my best to work more stuff for the members into my schedule. It's happening. What PS5 games am I excited for? I mean, the Spider-Man game does sound exciting. The Horizon game sounds really exciting. Again, like I said, I haven't played Horizon Zero Dawn, but that doesn't mean I haven't looked at it and been like, I really want to play that. And I have heard from a bunch of people that it's amazing. My friend Curtis played through it and couldn't stop talking about it. Thank you, Beth. I did the haircut myself. It's been a couple of weeks now. Might be time to clean it up. But yeah, I got to the point where it felt like I had a dead rat on my head. So I had to do something. And so I did. When is WWDC? I believe WWDC starts on June 22nd. And so it's going to be interesting. WWDC has never been entirely about, it's never been really about products. It's a developers conference, WWDC. And they always have some products there, but in looking at the schedule that they put up, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, there wasn't too much mention of product type stuff in the keynote. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be products, but I guess from what we've heard from our friend John Prosser, as well as others, is that there is a new iMac that's ready to go, apparently. And that will be exciting. I hope that it looks good. I hope that it's, the thing about the iMac is now that you can get wide aspect ratio monitors, like 34 inches or 38 inches or 49 inches or whatever, the iMac 27-inch model is great, but I don't know. Like I'd rather have a Mac that I could plug a monitor into that I like. But the monitor that comes in the iMacs is fantastic. So I'm anxious to see if they come up with a different design, what that different design is, and I want them to put i7s in the base models. That's what I want. All the base models of the iMacs, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. All the base models of the iMacs come with i5 chips. I love that you can upgrade your own memory, and I hope they keep that. But I don't want to have to special order an i7. I don't have to special order an i7 chip for a MacBook Pro. So I want an i7. And Rye is making a good point here. The Mac is the same every year. Never see the point of updating. That's true. But that's also one of the things that's great about Macs is the iMacs have looked the same since 2012. And a lot of people are still running 2012 iMacs. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You get 8 years of life out of a computer. That's better than average, I would think. So, I mean, there's a give and take there. So Nefertari says color on the clear part when the game is on. Same with other accessories, controllers. Yeah. So I guess with the PS5, it looks like there's going to be some sort of lighting on the. Let me bring this up. Some sort of lighting on this on the area between the white and the black. So that could look good, and I guess the Xbox Series X is also going to have some kind of lighting aspect to. If you haven't seen Austin Evans' video where he got to go and see a teardown of the Xbox One X or Series X, go to his channel and check that out. It's very cool. It's very cool. So, you know, in 2020, you can't come out with a gaming system without the RGBs, without the LEDs. You got to have it. iMac is the best affordable Apple computer by a long shot. Excuse me. And yes, it's been that way for a long time, and recently they have gotten closer and closer to really being spec'd out enough to be professional models. To me, it's just unfortunate that the base models don't start. You don't have an i7 base model option, and maybe it's not that big a deal. But I know if I'm buying an iMac, I want an i7. So I have a 2020 Mac Pro and a 2019 iMac. Upgrade every 2 years because I'm yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't even make it 2 years, man. I guess that's a workplace hazard, but no, I hear you. But I will say this: at my old day job, we ran a podcast, and for the majority of the life of that podcast, I guess the last 5 years of that podcast, we ran that podcast off of a 2010 i3 iMac, and it did everything that we needed it to. We put an SSD in it, we upgraded the RAM, but it did everything that we needed it to do. And that's, to me, that's just amazing that you could get 10 years of like, not just casual use, but professional use out of a product like that. It's always very impressive to me. Where am I going to stream season 4 of the Warzone? Well, interestingly enough, I've been streaming some Warzone on Amazon. Because if you guys don't know, I've been doing 4 or 5 streams a week over on Amazon ever since before Black Friday, like early November. And so I always do at least a couple gaming streams where I have like the accessories that I use or that I recommend, and then my PC parts and that kind of thing. So I've been doing some Warzone over there, but I've also been going on Twitch and streaming a little bit more as well. A couple of hours, a couple of times a week, 3 times a week, something like that, if I have time. Yeah, the Amazon thing is weird. I'm just, but it's but it works. It works. The Amazon thing is interesting. I didn't think I would enjoy it. I thought it would feel like kind of weird or something, because I didn't want to have like that QVC feel. But a lot of the times I'll go on and I'll talk about stuff that I like, or I'll play a game and you know, have the stuff that I use or that I recommend up there with me. Or I'll even do like I did a stream with Greg's Gadgets the other day, where we just basically talked about Apple stuff the entire time. And Travis MCP and I do streams at least once a week where we just talk about stuff. So it's kind of fun. I mean, when it's 2 of us, we usually have some kind of like, it feels like a podcast, I guess, if that makes sense. So it's not really like heavily into like salesy things or anything like that. And I know that there's a way that people can follow on Amazon. Like if you hit the little star on the Amazon live page, like in the video window, if you hit that little star in there, I know you can follow people. But I don't know what their notification system is like. This thing was basically a beta, and maybe still is officially a beta. But they just upgraded the app that we use to get in and live stream from and all that. So yeah, it's they're still figuring it out, I guess. Now, Justin Nugget says Amazon profited off the pandemic and couldn't meet their delivery fulfillments, but still continued to charge everyone full price. Now I'm not going to make excuses for Amazon or anything like that. However, I do think that, you know, the human cost of keeping those people working and getting stuff out to people has to be factored in there. And it couldn't be business as usual in order for people to be safe. And yes, I know there were issues with that for Amazon along the whole way. But I know for me and my family, we were ordering bulk foods and stuff like that. And it was really a good situation. It was a situation that didn't exist elsewhere. Amazon is a business that's perfectly built for that kind of thing. Would it be great if they could keep like 1 day or 2 day shipping going the whole time and everything? Yeah, but I think Amazon probably also, they made a boatload of money. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing, I mean, they're a business. They make money. They make a boatload of money, but there also just wasn't really a system in place for people to get food if they couldn't go out to get it, to get, you know, various sundry things that they need. So it was interesting to watch and sort of be connected to Amazon even tangentially as they went through the pandemic, because as we were talking about products that people could need or want or use, some stuff would go out of stock. Like that, you can't order a Logitech webcam on Amazon for less than $300, which is ridiculous. And those are just people selling stuff as a third party, trying to profit off of the fact that there are no Logitech webcams available. There are a lot of webcams on there now that are cheap, but I don't know how much I trust them, because even Logitech doesn't have great software support. Their software is not great. So I don't know how much I would get excited about using a totally unknown company that doesn't really have any history or background in making webcams. Yeah, just a nugget. I totally feel you, man. I totally feel I totally agree. I mean, on one hand, on one hand, yes, but on the other hand, you want. On one hand, they're doing a really good thing. On the other hand, they're making a lot of money, and that's something that always makes me feel a little bit weird. But they were super important to my family in that time. Just knowing that we could order bulk stuff and get it delivered. So Purusha Dessa says HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus. What about Dolby Vision? I haven't. Are they going to do Dolby Vision? The Dolby Vision. I like the Dolby Vision. Yeah, it's interesting. As I was saying before, I was really curious about people's reaction to the looks of this thing. The looks of this thing are really. Here's the thing. What, as you said, what do you want? I mean, it's got a nice, very, very, I guess, I don't know if I want to say elegant, but very distinctive design. And how is that a bad thing? I have no idea. Sometimes tech people can complain about tech people can like narrow their focus down to some little tiny thing and just like look at it and complain about it, not really thinking about the larger context of the thing. I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty darn sexy. Hey, Zach, I sent you a link if you want to come in. I don't know, but Zach probably hasn't done his hair yet today either. Yeah, I think if people can showcase it in this vertical manner, it's going to look great. The OnePlus fonts thing is a personal thing, and I will admit that it is a small thing, but it does bother me. So, I'm not claiming that that I have not been guilty of like really complaining about nothing, you know. So I have. That's okay, Zach. It's good. Glad you could mobile yourself in. Probably only gonna just I plan for this to be about an hour, so I'll probably just do that. Sony has never been known for designing the best looking consoles. It's obvious they cut costs on design, which they do with other consoles besides the PS3. I'm going to reserve judgment on that until I get the thing physically in front of me and I can feel it. The PS3, the original PS3 was a beast. It was an absolute beast. I still have my original PS3 back there in storage, and you're right. It was incredibly well designed. It was solid. The PS4, I thought it looked kind of cool at first, but the design of it didn't really last for me. It just didn't carry over. After a couple of years, I was like, I don't really want to. So I'm looking forward to these couple of, like the Xbox Series X as well as the PS5. Just because it'll be something different to look at. Although I think the Xbox design has held up well. I think the Xbox design has held up nicely. But it's just a black box, which I thought was kind of a negative when it first came out. So who knows? So anyway, my daughter's texting me. Sorry. Hey, it's Zach.
You got me on there?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Good. What are you like? Are you Costco or something?
No. I'm at a car. I'm at my dealership getting my tires changed out and everything. I was due for maintenance back in December, but then the world went to crap. So
And I think I've driven my car 3 times.
Yeah.
Since this happened. I'm serious. And now I'm to the point where it's like, well, I've been not driving the car for all these months. Do I really need the car?
Yeah. Well, that's what happened to me. Like I started working from home and everything. And sorry, I'm just gonna go outside here. I go in the lobby here. And basically, then March or February, March came around, and it's like I just haven't driven.
Yeah, I know. So we have we gave my daughter our Chevy Volt, 2013 Chevy Volt for her 16th birthday. She still is she's learning how to drive. She's not yet driving on her own. But I got the Audi A4, 2017 Audi A4, and I love the car. I love it. However, now that I work from home, I never drive. The only thing I did when school was in, I would take my daughter to school and I would pick her up and drop her off. And school is like less than 2 miles away from here. I've had the car for basically close to a year, I think, and I've only put like 3,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So I'm tempted to just sell it, but at the same time, it's really sexy. So
and this is like literally the 7th time I've been out of the house. Last week was 6 for the surgery. I shouldn't even be doing this. I'm not even supposed to be walking around, but I'm like, I just gotta get stuff done. And in case people are wondering in the chat, like I can't see the chat, I'm on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. That's it. Like I'm not using anything else.
Nice. It sounds good.
Look okay.
Sounds good. Video looks good. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I have not owned a PlayStation system since the PlayStation 1. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've played other systems and I've gone to friends' places and Xbox and everything like that. And I got a bunch of those classic systems at home, like the Nintendo Classic and, the Sega and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So yesterday when my son and I were watching, our heads are like exploding. We're like, we're getting this. So
I know.
I'm going all out. I think it looks terrific. I think it looks sexy. I love the sleekness of it. I'm going for the digital only because of the cost savings. Right. And because realistic, if a game drops, I mean, the days of going and lining up for an iPhone are over. The days of going and lining up for a game are over. I understand that there's a need and a want for people that maybe collect that kind of stuff, and maybe if you don't have the bandwidth and things like that. But it works for me.
Well, I mean, even at this point, one thing that I think is important for people to recognize is that even if you buy the disc, the PlayStation is going to take everything off the disc and put it on the hard drive, because it needs to be local on the hard drive in order for it to be as fast as it's going to be, and it's going to be like crazy fast.
Yeah,
it's going to be really crazy fast.
I keep on reading arguments about buy a PC and this and that. And I totally agree with that. But the way I look at it is this. Yeah, there's an initial upfront cost. Let's say it's $500. Let's just throw a number. $500, okay? $600. How often is a console updated? 4, maybe 5 years, right?
I think the PS4 came out in like 2013. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think it was 2013.
Okay, so let's say 6 years rather than 7. That's a pretty good investment for that many years, right? That's $100. So the way I look at it, and then that you have a system that's going to work for the games that come out, and then you're just buying the games. I don't have to upgrade RAM and worry about viruses and da-da-da-da-da-da. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, we were talking about it a little bit before, and one thing about playing on console is I'm not going to say it's a better or worse experience. It's a more casual experience a lot of times than playing on the PC. I'll give you that. Yeah. And sitting in the comfort of your living room on your couch is not is a different experience than sitting in front of a computer monitor and like playing intensely, like playing the game. So
Absolutely.
I'm not going to take that away from it, but it's not a better or worse experience. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, I spend so much time in my studio in front of my computer as it is. Like, I want to get out and enjoy my couch.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like, since I started playing first person shooters on the PlayStation 4, I always sat at a desk with a monitor in front of me and used headphones. I found that I couldn't really play first person shooters very effectively on a giant screen from my couch. I know people that do, and they're good players, but I just was never super comfortable with it. So it's interesting. I mean, so yeah, Andrew, thank you for fact checking that 2013. So the PlayStation 4 came out in 2013, right?
So seven. It's like so. Let's say average 7. Let's say average 6 years.
It was 400, and it was $400 brand new.
Exactly. So if this is $600, and you're going to get 4+, you're going to get 6+ years out of it. That's pretty good investment, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing that's interesting I have friends, my friend Curtis, who I've been talking about, who I play with all the time. He's been on the same PS4 since launch day.
Boom.
He and I both went and like actually stood in line to get PS4s on launch day. and I got a PS4 Pro when the Pro came out. So I don't have my
there was
PS4 anymore, but
there was a bit of talk last night. Now I'll admit I'm not fully versed and understand the whole specs and all that. I mean, I understand ray tracing, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people were saying there's a lot of sentiment about it just looks like souped up PS4 stuff, like the graphics wise. And again, I guess my perspective is different because I haven't owned a console and hardcore and gamed since the PS1, except because I played like World of Warcraft for like 4 years,
right?
And my classic systems, and then when I go to friends' places here and there, and of course I got the arcade machines, but I haven't owned a console like this. So, but for me, the biggest compelling part is going to be this for games: long-term gameplay and story. If there's some sort of story involved. So, one of the games I was playing last night on my PlayStation Classic, that little thing that came out last year,
yep,
is Metal Gear Solid. Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid?
I certainly did.
What a fantastic story.
Yeah, I know, and I still have PTSD from that sound that it made whenever somebody saw you.
I just loaded it on the thing last night, so I'll have it for the show on Tuesday.
Oh, good. You'll send me into flashbacks, like a Vietnam veteran or something. That was for me. That's one of the best games that came out on the PS2 for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So IAR 1980 says there should be no excuse when it comes to build quality for the new consoles, as in the last 7 years we have come a long way in tech space when it comes to build quality. Laptops you're making a good point here. Absolutely. But and this was the problem with the PlayStation 3 when it came out. The PlayStation 3 was $500.
Yeah, that thing had a lot of problems, eh?
Yeah, the PlayStation 3 was $500 at launch. Yes, you were getting a Blu-ray player, which was something that wasn't like widespread at that point. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, although the build quality was really nice, a lot of that build quality stuff went into the overall cost. So
yeah,
I feel like they're doing a lot with what they have while still being really conscious of that end of the day cost.
Yeah,
like they can't charge over $500.
Okay, so that I'll leave you off with that before I leave here. What do you think USD? What do you think this is going to cost for a single system, digital with one controller? Let's keep it simple.
It's either going to be 400 or 440 or 450.
I think 450 with a single controller digital is realistic, and if you want to get like a bundle, 2 controllers, and maybe something else, you're probably looking at 6.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna buy the full fat one with the disk drive and a spare controller and a game,
I think there's going to be a really big gap between digital and disc to make people really think, okay, maybe I could be happy with digital.
Yeah. Well, I haven't bought a physical game in years.
Yeah.
I buy and download them all.
Yeah.
So the disk drive thing doesn't bother me in that sense. Like, I could do without it when it comes to the games themselves, but
yeah.
Justin Nugget asks, is Blu-ray still a thing? I mean, most people stream nowadays. Absolutely true. However, I have a pretty decent library of Blu-rays and HD Blu-rays and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so do I.
I really, if you have a nice TV setup, a nice sound setup, if you've got stuff like that, the experience of watching it off of a disc is better than any kind of compressed streaming signal that you're going to get. Although the streaming services do a good job most of the time. There
was a period a few weeks ago they're installing gigabit service into our neighborhood, so I'll be able to upgrade to that soon. But our internet was up and down, and our TV service works off of IP. So I just told my son, go through that drawer and find a movie. And he's like, what are these? And I'm like, they're really shiny coasters, but you can also play movies off of them. So,
oh man, see, that's funny because my kids are a little bit older. So when my daughter was your kid's age, we had this giant like travel pack of all of the kids' DVDs that she would watch, you know, like in sleeves. So we would take them everywhere, and we get like the portable DVD player for the long car trips and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how far things have come.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm gonna let you and I'll probably hop back in the chat there. I'm gonna let you guys go. My arm's getting tired and it's kind of chilly out here, so I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, we're only gonna go for a few more minutes anyway. But thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care.
Yep. Later.
Cheers.
So, I've just left this up here. You know, this little beauty shot thing that they got going on here, because I do think I think it's a really good looking device. I think it's a really good looking device. You know, whether or not people are going to like to have it in their entertainment centers or anything like that is going to be a different question. But it's going to be a really good device. And yeah, Oppo makes some really great Blu-ray and HD Blu-ray players. I haven't had, but I will say that I haven't had a separate DVD/Blu-ray/HD Blu-ray player since the PlayStation 3 came out. I just basically, it was good in like the performance of the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. The performance of those in terms of watching the discs was good enough that I didn't see any reason to purchase a separate device. Now, I know I could squeeze some better quality out if I did, but I just never did. Dolby Atmos is going to be a big thing. I mean, that's one thing that I think you can get from a console gaming experience that you're not going to get from a PC experience. Like if you have a full Dolby Atmos setup in your entertainment center, and then you're playing a game, and that game is mixed for Dolby Atmos. I mean, somebody was talking about Tomb Raider earlier. I mean, think about the soundscape that you could get for a Tomb Raider game with a Dolby Atmos setup going on. I mean, not a lot of people buy separates for their entertainment center either. A lot of people are just buying sound bars and that kind of thing. And that's fine. I've never found a sound bar that I really liked enough to use it over a set of speakers and a receiver. But you know, but there's so much potential for the experience that's going to come from a console if you do have a really nice setup in your living room or your home theater room or whatever it is, in your basement, wherever. yeah, that sound experience is something like, don't sleep on the sound experience. So Lucky says 449 and 499. I think that's pretty even. I think that's a pretty good idea. I think that's pretty close. Perusia says 559 British pounds, 459. Possible. I mean, it just depends on whether or not they decide that they're gonna try and keep the prices consistent in terms of, you know, if they're going to keep the prices consistent from one region to the next, I guess is the big question. You know, Miguel, home theater in a box, there was a time when it was really great. Bose had some really, really good systems. This was like back in the 90s. And then they turned into cheap garbage. But there are some home theaters in a box that are coming back now, and they're actually pretty good. The technology has sort of caught up to the form factor. So I'm not gonna like poo-poo them too much, because I still think they have some potential. But yeah, it's a home theater in a box that's had a bad reputation for a long time. I know. So Andrew says only $5.99 USD will never go away. You're right. And the problem is, I know there are a lot of people out there who are looking at the PS4 and who are looking at the Xbox Series X, and they're saying, well, what kind of gaming PC can I build for that? And you could build for $500 or $600. You could build a pretty badass gaming PC. But again, to me, the experience of the two things is way different. The experience of the two things is not the same. And console gaming has its place. It's more casual. It's for the whole family. It's for, you know. So I think that making that argument about, well, you could build a PC for that much is sort of apples and oranges, because PC gamers don't game in the same way that console gamers game. It's just the way it is. And I can say that having, you know, I've got a gaming PC right here in front of me that I use all the time now, and I've got a PS4 and PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X, and I've used them all, and I enjoy them all for what they are. I enjoy them all for the experience that they offer. But yeah, it's not a great argument to me if you want to talk about PC versus console in terms of price. Miguel says that Klipsch has the best sounding soundbar sub combo. Klipsch has always been a great loudspeaker company. And I have had old Klipsch speakers. I have had new Klipsch speakers. I have had really expensive Klipsch speakers. I have had, more reasonably priced Klipsch speakers, and they all sound great. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, and then I'm gonna wrap up. If you don't have a home theater system right now, or you just have like a small soundbar or something like that, and you want something more, every year around the holiday season, Best Buy takes the tower speakers that they sell from Klipsch and make them half price, which is an unbelievably good deal. Like when I got my 8-inch ones, they were $450 a piece, and I got them $450 for the set. I don't know if I ever would have spent $450 each, but for $450 total, they are amazing sounding speakers. Now, Phil Cal makes some really amazing sounding speakers that are on a different level, for sure. And I haven't had like a dedicated stereo system. If I'm listening critically to stuff, I'm over here at my recording setup, and I'm listening through studio monitors for the most part. But I've been able to really enjoy listening to, through a Sony AVR with those giant clip speakers and a sub. Get some big sound out of that. But if you're interested in having like a speaker separates set up for your home theater, and you want to get some good stuff but not spend $5,000, I'm telling you that those tower speakers that they sell at Best Buy are really, really good. 3D audio is going to be a big deal. I still think that like Dolby Atmos hasn't permeated the market totally yet. And when hardware starts to turn around, when more people have Dolby Atmos available to them, then yeah, we're going to see one of the benefits that consoles can have over PCs. It's not to say you can't get great sound with a PC, but it's just set up that way. Wonder what Black Friday will be like this year, since retailers will want to. Yeah. I mean, well, it's a question of whether or not, because of COVID-19, how much of an overstock will there be? I don't know. Maybe they sold through stock and they're not making very many now. But yeah, Black Friday this year will be interesting because the new systems will be out and available. At least I'm pretty sure the PlayStation will. But yet you still have the PS4 Lite or whatever they call it. And those things are all going to be like 200. I think you get the non-disc version of the PlayStation for like $200. I think you get the PlayStation Pro for $300. Maybe less, depending on the sale, depending on the time. So yeah, Franklin, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's so much potential for sound in these games. And I think, like, my daughter loves to play like horror survival games. Like, she just got done playing the last Resident Evil. And yeah, if you have a good audio setup, it would be a great experience. I would love it. But anyway, folks, it's been an hour. I only wanted to go an hour so I can either go back to sleep or get some other work done today. So I'm going to jump out of here and move on. I might go on later and play some Call of Duty Warzone on the Twitch. If you're not familiar with the Painfully Honest Tech Twitch, you can go over there and follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Painfully Honest Tech. I'm on there a few times a week, not super serious about it, but I go on just to have some fun. So anyway, thank you so much for being a part of this. And Friday morning coffee is always nice. I gotta remember to work it into my schedule more often than I have been. So anyway, folks, once again, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This has been the Painfully Honest Tech Friday Morning Coffee. Until the next time, I am out.